Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Rise of the Tomb Raider, or I'd probably argue better titled Fall of the Tomb Raider. We saw the end. There was indications that there's another Croft running around, either a father or maybe the grandfather was killed, or Anna was actually her mother. Oddly, I guess the mother of Lara Croft is not even moved in here. We've got several of these gifts awarded for finding the path to Kitezh. Let's just quickly open all of these cards. I assume that these cards are random. If they aren't, let's see. We're gonna go back into the main game and let's see. Awarded for complete Rise of the Tomb Raider. Thanks for playing. These might not be random cards, but maybe they are. Up in Flames award for finding the Atlas. And that was probably the oldest pack we have. We'll see if getting 100% of the game done includes anything else. The final section was both hurried and confusing and just full of a lot of cutscenes. A lot of those sections could have been either on-screen, in-game cutscenes with the characters just talking to you, or do something slightly different with it. I'm not exactly sure going back into the game where we're going to be, but we're getting some kind of cutscene.
I know it's a lot to take in. I wish I could have been with him in the end.
See, like,
knowing
we're still
your
getting
would be
in
safe gave him
cutscenes.
comfort. He went peacefully. Thank you, Lara.
If she destroyed the divine source,
Our oaths have been fulfilled.
there can't be any deathless ones wandering around, so there must
What will
be
you do now?
Trinity people wandering around.
This is still our home,
Because there's an
We will
achievement
rebuild.
for killing
but there is much work
Wandering.
to be done.
enemies.
There are still enemies in this valley. And there is still much to discover.
Like, the game is directly telling you, keep playing, there's more to do. Alright, well, we could either run this way or we could just fast travel this way. I think it's probably easier to fast travel. And then there's, for me, not really much to do. I just have a 99% completion, 94% completion in the Lost City, and let's see, make sure I go to the right place. This shouldn't be much of a load, but it still will be, since I'm just going from one end of the map to the middle of the map. I still very much look forward to the day when there's an infinite amount of RAM available in video cards and computers, to the point where very quickly the entire game is loaded into quickly accessible, no load screen sections of RAM. It'll probably never happen.
Welcome back. So,
You were right. There are valuable secrets inside those tombs.
incredible. There's so much we've lost. But we will
I'm
find
not sure
it
this
again.
is the same character model
Here.
before.
It's a small price for this wisdom.
I'm sure I can find some use for them.
So now we have a Scabra Umbria? What is... Wait, what is that? Not an infinite amount of salvage or anything, so there's still upgrades that potentially I might need to do to get to 100%. I'm not willing to to go that far in my obsessiveness. Honestly. I also don't believe I'm in the Huntress outfit anymore. So, let's see what that is. So, unless there's a Siberia Umbria skill, which I doubt is what we got. The chicken is just walking around me. Equipment, lockpick, ascender, and then all of these are just increased containers of things. So it must be a weapon. 8 of 8 bows. We have recurve bow, compound bow, ancient horn bow, grim whisper, death's bow, white widow, guiding light, and dream stringer. That seems to all be the same. Revolver, semi-automatic pistol, heavy pistol, venom hand cannon, moon shadow, and Precipitator Nox, and Hailstorm, SMG, assault rifle, bolt action rifle, military rifle, gold fang, nothing there, Harbinger, tactical shotgun, full auto shotgun, break, and pump action, only one climbing thing. Apparently I am wearing the Huntress outfit, it just looks different. So maybe there's an outfit called Siberia. Reduce the delay before health begins to regenerate when damaged. Sacra Umbria. Classic Tomb Raider 2. Here we go. Did we get anything else? Classic Chronicles suit. Classic Croft Manor outfit. Classic Tomb Raider 2 bomber jacket. We certainly have gone quite far. Angel of Darkness, not too bad actually, compared to, say, Classic Tomb Raider 2, which is, they're not doing any Classic Tomb Raider because, Tomb Raider 1 because she was just too polygony. I wouldn't mind if this was the Lara Croft of the modern day. It wouldn't have bothered me any. And this I think is what you would have been wearing at the end of the game by default. And this, I believe, would have probably been in the middle, maybe not. And this is what you started with, or something like that. No, you started with this one. And so, like, compare Expedition Jacket versus Classic Tomb Raider 2. Full bare arms, hot pants. They're certainly trying to get away from the sex appeal look. Let's play with that one. This section is 98% complete. Why? Because there's survival caches. Survival caches I never found. Seriously? Well, let's get out of here to begin with. and go get the other survival caches, and then think about that for a second. I suppose if there's 2 survival caches left to get, and it really stinks that you got so many outfits and card packs and things because you had the season pass and DLC, but you had to actually beat the game to do something that is actually slightly interesting to people who might be nostalgic for old Tomb Raider games, which is play as the old Tomb Raider character. Frankly, this seems like it's a mod. Let's put that there. It's clearly just a skin and not a heavily focused on skin or well animated skin. Where is this cache? I guess it would be on the ground, wouldn't it? Collecting things that probably don't matter. And where is it hiding? Right there. Final thing is the statues in this area. And that's going to be potentially difficult. It'll be also interesting to find out if there are any deathless in this section, or perhaps some kind of other organization. Trinity might be running around. Why I would be low on poison mushrooms? I'm not sure. I don't think I made anything with the poison mushrooms, but maybe I did. So, what are my thoughts on where a statue could be? I've been sort of everywhere. Getting the experience now doesn't really matter. 1 second. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. This kind of turns the game into a straight run and gun shooter. And I guess you're assuming that salvage and other items are just respawning at this point. think I've done a pretty poor job in this area. To the point where I do kind of believe that there might be a statue somewhere that I totally missed. Yeah, all these salvage things are refilling. So, if there's a statue, my suspicion is it would be in the walls. It couldn't be in the water, because I couldn't shoot it in the water. It could be at the top there. I would have thought I would have hit it if that was the case. Exotic animal nearby, probably a board. There's a couple of statues there. Well, at this point it's time to give up. It really is. The idea of getting 100% was cool. We are really close to that, certainly, but the thing isn't just this. It's also this part plus the totally unaware location of the other two caches in the geothermal valley. Play the game, and there's no reason to continuously play the game. There's other elements of the game for us to be frustrated with, so we can move forward with that. But I will applaud the game for keeping me invested in this. I very rarely have I had a game that makes me want to continue playing and is pretty bad. And yet somehow they figured out some way of pushing my buttons and act much more obsessive than I should be. But I'm done. Save the game. Save 56. 99% done. Let's see. When we zoom out, this section is 98% complete with just the chapter done, and the geothermal valley is 98% complete because there's two caches somewhere. And I have no clue where. You would think the map would tell you, since everything else is marked. Maybe you could make a guess and look on the map where there aren't survival caches marked. Like this area, if I was to guess, is probably where they are, since the closest survival cache I see is down here. I would put money that it is in that section somewhere, but I would have to just wander around. The Baba Yaga DLC is also not very interesting. Let's look at the rest of the game. The other elements to this, the things that time and money and effort was taken away from. So, to start off with, you have this Croft Manor thing. New story. Begin a new Croft Manor Blood Times story. You can play Croft Manor Blood Times in VR with an HTC Vive. Wow. New expedition, Lara's Nightmare. A challenge, a bonus challenge set in Lara Croft Manor for combat enthusiasts. Battle through the manor halls, gather weapons, enemies that survived the nightmare. And apparently VR mode. Croft Manor Blood Ties is an entire storyline. There's more game to play. I cannot believe this. Well, let's start with the expeditions then. Select the game mode. Choose the level to play. Progress through the story to unlock more levels. So, you could play Score Attack, where finish a level quickly for a time bonus, obtaining scores together and build your combo meaning, completing challenges and collecting medals to earn credits. Credits buy you packs. You can see I have 174,000. That number is almost certainly pre-programmed to be what you get by the end of playing the main game. If not, maybe 175,000. If we come over to the marketplace and see what you can purchase for that, it's a platinum pack, but not a diamond pack or anything like that. The other modes are the Prophet's Tomb, which I believe is the level we have already done. Oh no, that's not how this works. Score Attack or Chapter Replay. Customize your experience with cards. Replay earlier chapters of the story, complete challenges to earn credits. Another thing. Chapter Replay Elite. Replay earlier chapters of the story to upgrade skills and equipment. You don't really need to do that, except for the multiplayer. Help the remnant fight, take back the value, create a play custom missions, compete with friends to earn credits, or endurance, search the forest for artifacts in the ultimate survival experience, or Cold Darkness, infiltrate the Soviet research base to find source of mysterious chemical weapon, or Lara's Nightmare, which you can play in expeditions mode or in solo player mode. And what happens when I hit X to go to the marketplace? It just brings me back here. Thanks, game. I don't believe you could have bought any of this stuff with credits, by the way. I think this is all just what you have. Level is the Prophet's Tomb or Siberian Wilderness. Apparently I even have some high scores on some of these because they gave me a score for playing different sections. Difficulty: Tomb Raider, Seasoned Player, Survival, Adventure. So you can get 3 times the points for kills if we go through the tutorial and endurance. I think this is worth doing, just so we can show what it is without having to deal with anything. That's an interesting art style because I don't believe that's an outfit that Lara even has. It'll be also interesting if I'm still as Lara Croft too. Endurance. Laura's on the hunt for artifacts, but Trinity isn't far behind. Search through the forest for crypts, retrieve as many artifacts as you can, then signal for rescue. In the harsh world of Siberian wilderness, you only have one chance to survive. Heat and hunger. Oh! So this is Don't Starve. Or a similar game in that sense. And my instinct mode. Crypts and ruins can be found in the forest, search around to find them.
Won't spoil in this weather. Going to hold on to it.
So, there's entire lines of dialogue in this game, in this section, that you don't hear in the main game. And this is a different outfit, just for endurance mode. I thought this was all multiplayer stuff. I'm starting to wonder if any of it's multiplayer. It just becomes more crazy than, like, why would you make different ways to play the game instead of just making the main story fun? This isn't fun. I'm in the tutorial section. The game is not tutorializing me. It's telling me to run around and find a tomb. Let's see. And it seems like you can go up to 21 days in this. And like artifacts. How do you even signal to escape? Is it just the start button? This honestly doesn't even feel like it would have been too hard to program, but it makes no sense that it was left in. This feels like it's just an auto-generated section of gameplay. It certainly builds into the idea of making arrows and crafting. You now know why so much of the game required you to waste time crafting arrows. It was for some section of gameplay like this. Well, this is boring. And frankly, I can't even find a tomb. I suppose maybe I'm supposed to climb up higher. There's no map. If there was a tomb, it would have to be against the wall, wouldn't it? New crypt discovered.
Has to be something inside here.
That felt like it came out of nowhere.
I think someone's out there. You're dead.
And this is the old system.
Come on, let's end this.
Where you have to tap X to kill him. Compared to the previous game, at the very least,
no wind in here at least.
The Tomb Raider reboot
I'll need wood to get this fire started.
really had this desperate idea of her being really struggling. So every base camp you go to can give you a skill point. I assume all of these skill points are the same. Maybe they do something different. So they want you to play the whole game over again. Like, why would you want to do this? And how do you feed yourself? She knows how to craft things. Some things. I think that's as appropriate as a thing to do as all. We weren't using any card bonuses. We get some scores. What does that do? We ran out of resources, used up your feathers. Let's see. You discovered a crypt. So it's got a whole timeline system. And then you died. I thought this was multiplayer, but it still doesn't. I guess you can make it multiplayer, but you can do it single player. So this, we could do tutorial or new game or Laura's Nightmare, which is just a zombie mode. This looks like it is a full stealth game thing. Score attack kind of makes sense. It's just play the game and get score for doing certain things. Chapter replay doesn't really make any sense. So let's start Blood Ties, but honestly I am so done with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Maybe we'll come back in a year or two and do Blood Ties. I don't see any reason why I'd want to play any more of this, since the main game is so bad. It really is just as bad, horribly low effort.
Final notice to Lara Croft, a current tenant of premises.
It's just a low
this is
effort
to serve as your
repeat
final
of the
notice
previous game.
for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe.
That's the idea, is that the mother...
Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
So, is this a run around and find things?
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined.
See if there's any numbers.
I see.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did. A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses.
So there's something here.
This is probably my grandfather, Benjamin.
Yeah, and I could see wanting to do this. And
One of
hide
Dad's
and
Yoruba
go,
masks,
hide and seek
a gift
thing.
from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria.
But the voice acting doesn't even sound the same. It sounds like this is a bored voice actor reading out everything.
Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep.
Well, this is a hell of a thing.
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting.
Like, there's so much here that should have been put into the main game.
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always love looking at these. Too dark. Going to need a flashlight. Dad became interested
I just
in
don't know how long this is. I think this is probably randomized. There's just too many things around.
Hi, Dad.
And this would have been a great demo or something to release the game, release before the game, particularly since it ran late. But it wasn't. It's DLC. It's more things to charge
Lara,
people for.
I've reviewed.
Charge people money for.
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time. The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix.
Croft Manor is one of these
A phoenix
important
figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad.
elements of the Lara Croft series. It was seen in several of the original games. So bringing it back is nice, but it's kind of odd that it wasn't brought back.
This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here?
I can't get it to lock in.
Someone has a sense of humor.
As a medicinal cigarette symbol, medicinal marijuana. I guess is the idea.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to see.
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Locked. Need a key to open this. Dad was always so protective of the West Wing.
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress
So
Lara?
now we're
The offer
getting
came in the
this
post last.
Looking at the compass, thinking.
memories.
What about, if I may inquire?
And I bet there's nothing really in the story that this would
I'm not sure. I really...
spoil for the main game. So why wasn't this a standalone game? Why wasn't this a demo? Why did this only unlock after I played the main game? And I'm just running around randomly trying to see if maybe we can find that one item that's going to have a code on it.
Another one of Dad's immortality.
So much of this is not finished as far as an animated area.
Lara, since
Which I guess that only helps in the storyline that this whole place is broken down.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip.
So we got the flashlight in a far
Should be able to
distant
explore the
section.
dark now.
So they probably have it designed
Just thinking about discovering faraway places.
that
About
you
finding
have to find the
adventure.
flashlight in this section, and then you get into the next section via the flashlight, and then you have to probably find something else. And I assume in the Laura's Nightmare section, when you're doing this,
Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
the lockpick or
They
master
say-
key.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Saying this could be a little spooky. I don't know if the Lara Croft series is really known for being spooky though. But I'm just running through all of it.
Still just as creepy as I remember.
You got all this wine here, you sell some of that, you can fix the place pretty easily, I imagine.
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
Yeah, I imagine this would take you at least a couple of hours, particularly if you listen to all this dialogue.
I'm going to win this time, Winston.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him. I always chose white.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to king's bishop 6. Check.
So it strikes me like
easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes queen.
Items to find. Master key. And a pry bar of some sort. A little bit of a puzzle. More puzzles than most of the sections in the main game. And if there is something built around the story that you would have to actually listen to the story to figure out the combination, that would kind of suck, but I imagine that's not the case.
Dad, this is it! The basement of despair!
I doubt they would have put a
muster your courage. This is the only path to the library of infinite knowledge.
Look there! See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The keepers of knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on.
Honestly, I doubt Croft Manor is very useful to Lara Croft.
One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Winston used my...
So you're getting a lot of backstory about how Lara Croft was raised basically by a butler instead of the father who was always running around, which then kind of confuses the issue as to why she even cares about her father's honor when he seemed to be missing for most of the
my
time.
stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy.
So you see this number 8. Direction. Probably not.
Water damage from the main hall above.
And I just can't keep interest in this. I really can't. Let's see, can you save? No. So you have to play the whole experience if you want to play it. And I don't really want to play it. So let's go back to the main menu and just look at the other things. It kind of sucks to have spent money on a game and then have entire elements. I guess maybe you can continue it. New Expedition, Lores, Nightmare, Tomb Raider, difficulty, just bring it up to survival. Might as well. And then you can defeat challenges during the extra credits. Okay. I see all of these. Well, I guess they're just there. And here's the first thing where we can add cards. So, card sale value, card rarity, score multiplier. And this is the whole microtransaction thing right here. Score by score multiplier. This would give you extra things, whereas this would cost you things. And apparently, of all the cards I have, I can only use certain elements. First aid is 100%. Empty magazine is 100%. And I assume these are one-time use cards, and I don't even care enough to be certain about that. Gray Henley is 0%, tank top is 0%. These are just different outfits. This one is negative 30%. So a couple of those outfits are useful. I believe there's an achievement for using so if I count sort by multiplier, I guess I can look at all the cards and do that. There was something about playing either one card that was worth 200% or all the cards combined are worth 200%. A lot of these are restricted too, so you can't even use them. Alright. So card bonus of 205, I think that's what I needed. Let's start and see. All these cards are just microtransaction things. And you kind of have to assume that the reason why the game stretches and has so many different modes that are unnecessary and unwelcome.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter.
So this is the same thing.
I will never allow you to make this manor your home again. If you stay, you will perish like your pathetic father.
So it's kind of the same.
Poor, ruined sister. I will grind the Croft Manor to dust and leave it utterly destroyed, forgotten for all time.
The flashlight to begin with.
It is too late for you now.
This is a nightmare. It can't be real.
I agree. I have no bullets. And there's zombies everywhere. And you can see the areas laid out differently. did I just collect? Challenge failed, untouchable.
This is a nightmare.
So,
it can't be real.
Skulls of Rage. I can push people, but I don't have like a heal ability. This is the most difficult setting, of course, so I was asking for this. So now I've got a shotgun. Can I actually kill somebody? And why is the game crashing? Fair enough. I think that is the best place we could ever end this. The game has so many major problems in the story mode. The important part, the single player part. The thing that anybody who would have gotten into any of the other sections of gameplay, such as endurance mode and score attack mode, if the first single player mode, first person shooting stuff was good and great, and people really wanted to replay it multiple times, something like maybe Bayonetta, that's a game certainly that pushes you to play it 3 or 4 times in a row. I could excuse all of this extra stuff. I might even be able to turn a slight blind eye to the microtransactions and the cards. But the main game isn't good. Adding things on top of a bad game doesn't make it any better. If anything, it only hurt it. Just poor production. Poor decision making all throughout. Poor writing. Incredibly bad decision to repeat the story almost beat for beat as the previous game. And it's so ridiculous because the Tomb Raider reboot was good. It had me excited. Now, when the next Tomb Raider game comes out, I don't know if I'm even going to bother to play it. I'm not barely bothering to play this game. This game wasted my time, and it wasn't good. I would totally say this one's a skip for all but the most loyal Lara Croft fan. And I'm not sure there are that many loyal Lara Croft fans out there because they probably moved on to Uncharted. And Uncharted has its own problems, but it probably is better than what we got here. That's it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos because all of that helps me out and tells YouTube that my videos are worth watching. If you want to friend or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, all of those links are down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.